everyone will be alright if I'm not live by satellite. It's a beautiful day, I'm running away. Don't bother to Facebook message or call me.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Filmbox Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Souza, as usual, joined today on this nice, bright and early morning for some of us. I'm joined by Connor Jameson and Sam Majewski. How you guys doing this morning?
Sweaty, tired.
Ready to piss some people off with this episode.
Oh yeah, and this episode is going to be even more fun. We've got vacations coming up, so we're recording en masse. And today's episode, we're doing hot takes, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun one. But before we get into all that and describing how that all is going to work and stuff like that, I think it's about time we talk about what we've been watching recently and, where we've been and how we've been doing and, just catching up a little bit. It's been a little while. So, Connor, why don't you kick us off? What have you been watching? How you been doing? What's the news?
It's easier to just stick to the movies on that aspect. It's been a minute, so I've watched No Hard Feelings. It's pretty funny. Past Lives. We'll talk about it maybe in another episode coming up, but what a movie. 1001. Pretty good. Air, also really good. And then I watched Mission Impossibles 1 through 3. Kind of, got that coming up soon.
Yes, you do.
And then I watched Insidious Part 1 because I'm gonna go see Part 5 later today. And then The Crazies, the 2010 remake. I, for whatever reason, love that movie.
Interesting.
And then Legion, another movie.
Quite a few.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Another movie that I think even more egregious than The Crazies that I, for whatever reason, enjoy watching.
Interesting. Very interesting. You've got quite the amalgamation of films going there.
I didn't even mention that I saw Across the Spider-Verse again.
Again. What a
Shit's
movie. I
good.
still haven't seen it. I will see it.
I've seen it.
But
I will see it again as well.
you see it again.
Yes.
No, I will see it. Well, that's quite a list. Quite the that's about a 2-minute list that you had there in terms of recording time. Sam, what have you been watching recently?
Mix of everything. So I also
moving on.
I also watched No Hard Feelings. I finally got around to see The Flash. I've watched both Spider-Verses, the new Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, and the new movie that I just saw yesterday is Sound of Freedom.
Interesting.
How did you?
And I also go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, how'd you like The Flash?
Well, you can read
Or
the
I
review
guess-
on the website.
Well, I didn't.
I wrote the review.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
write
you
the
did?
review.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm supposed to know these things. I run this shit.
I didn't mind it. Action was good. CGI was, Yeah. I did enjoy all the nostalgia and stuff, but it's just,
For
A
what it
movie
was,
built on nostalgia is inherently a hollow film.
Yeah.
for all it was hyped up by like Tom Cruise and Spielberg. Like it was okay.
I think the reason why
Yeah.
this movie failed as much as it did is because of the actor. I think if that wasn't a factor, I think this movie would have done a lot better.
I have another
Yeah.
thought on that, but I'm gonna wait until you're done with your movies.
But yeah, Indiana Jones, the new one, where you can read my review on the website, and then The Sound of Freedom, that should be coming out early next week as well. I also been on a Disney binge too. I watched Soul for the first time. and I
Oh, for the first time?
yeah.
Oh,
I still haven't
oh,
seen
you've been missing out.
And then
That's
I
my
I
favorite
watched,
Pixar movie
I,
ever.
Watched Hercules, a little nostalgia action too.
It's a great one. It's a great man. You are killing it on the Disney choices.
All right, and that's it.
All right. Wow.
What
What a
about
list.
you, Aaron? What have you been watching?
Well, all right. So from the last time I was here, I saw Asteroid City. My dad came and visited from Tennessee, so that was fun.
When did that one come out?
Yeah, no, that came out. That came out last year, actually. No, so when he was up, we watched both Whiplash and National Treasure, and I will say my dad was not as much of a fan of Whiplash as I thought he would be. He enjoyed it, but he said that the drumming wasn't as realistic as it could have been, and he wasn't too keen on the ending of the story. Which, I mean, to each their own. It's things that I don't necessarily agree with, and I know, Connor, it's one of your favorite movies, but it's all right.
You know what's
It's to
funny?
each their own.
Going back to our first attempt at a podcast, we did When Harry Met Sally,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I wasn't really a huge fan of that. Your dad told me that I had the wrong opinion on that, so this is him getting back at me.
This
I feel
is
like.
right now. The roles have reversed.
Yeah.
But so we watched Whiplash. We also watched National Treasure, which, I mean,
Perfect
fucking
movie.
A tier. I love that movie, dude. I am like, man, I wish there were more. Like, I love the Uncharted video game series. It's one of my favorite, like, top 5 all-time favorite video game series, because I love the treasure hunting and using, like, the knowledge of history to find treasure, while also having a lot of action in there. And National Treasure is just, it's that, you know? Even more so than Indiana Jones, I think, which is kind of probably a little bit of a hot take, which, I mean, you know, we can talk about that in a minute. But let's see. I also watched Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, which was bad. Poo-poo. I watched Still, which is the Michael J. Fox documentary. That was really, really great. I watched Hunger Games Catching Fire because I was just on TV. I watched No Hard Feelings, The Eight Mountains, which is an Italian film that came out this year, which is phenomenal. So if you have a chance to see it, please go see it. And The Outlaws, which just came out yesterday as of recording this. And spoiler alert, you don't need to watch it. It's pretty shit. So... but I do want to, before we go into anything else, I want to bring up a little story, because I've been to the theater a fair amount of times in my life. You know, I'm not like a theater goer.
You
But
remember
I've
from
been.
the last Hot Take episode.
Yeah, I don't go. I didn't go for a long time, but now I'm out of necessity. I have to go. I have never seen someone like get up and walk out of a movie before, and it's happened to me twice in the last week.
Which movies?
So, Asteroid City,
Oh, jeez.
these two older people got up and fucking left right after, like, within 30 seconds of the Scarlett Johansson nude scene happening. Within 30 seconds, like, after that happened, just two older people just walking down the aisle with bags and shit. I was like, wow, they were not about it.
That's all we needed to see.
Yep.
It's just funny because it's rated pretty well on the Letterboxd.
No, I mean, it's very Wes Anderson. So if you like Wes Anderson,
That's the discourse I've been seeing about it. It's like,
yeah,
it's not like you have to buy into it, but it's just, it's one of those, like, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really talk about it, but
Yeah, me neither.
what I've seen
it's
is
very much like you take Wes Anderson's style and you dial it up to 11, and that's how it looks on screen. The humor's good, but I wasn't too impressed with the story of it. It was kind of like all over the place. It was a little strange, but it was very Wes Anderson. And if that's not your thing, then you're not gonna like it. But yeah, no, these people literally, like, I'm literally like within a minute maybe of that happening on screen. I just saw from the corner of my eye, I looked over, and these two people with purses and stuff like that. They're old people. They were like, like 60s plus. And they were shuffling their way, and I didn't see them come back in. I was like, wow, they were not about it. Why do I have to see nudity in my fucking film?
I definitely think it was the other way around. Like, all right, I was hoping this was in the first 5 minutes, but
Well, we stayed long enough.
I've seen everything I came to see. Now we may go.
Because it was an older couple. It was a guy and it was an old man and an old woman. So there's no way they just went to see ScarJo
Maybe
naked for 2 seconds. The man might have, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways.
and then that's why his wife was like, we're going.
Yeah, no, see ya. But the other movie was in seeing Ruby Gillman, which is a kids movie, and it was a movie that Em and I almost walked out of. To be honest, it really was pretty bad. But there was this kid and his dad sitting right behind us. He was right behind us, and I mean, it was not good. I mean, you have a movie aimed for kids. There were quite a few kids in the theater, and not a single one was engaged in the movie. Like, none of the kids, like, there were kids like playing around in the back. Like, no one was really into it. And literally, this kid couldn't have been more than 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, leaned over to his dad directly behind me and said, "I don't want to watch this anymore. Can we leave?" And I was like, whoa. And then they did. They got up and left.
I want to hear his takes.
Yeah, dude. I was like, wow. But yeah, no, I mean, it was deserved. That movie is not very good.
I think there's only been 3 movies that I've seen. I didn't see them in theaters, but where I was like halfway through them, and I'm like, I do not want to watch this anymore.
Yeah, I have no problem turning off a movie that I don't like, and I've done it quite a few times. I've never seen someone, and I know people do it, I've just never seen someone like walk out of a theater until this week, where it happened twice, or this past week and a half ish. It was a week span when it happened. It was within a week's span. But that was crazy. But anyways, are we ready to move into the main chunk of this podcast?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the way this is gonna work is I went on Reddit and I posted in a couple different subreddits asking for hot takes from the community. And I got quite a few responses. And so I picked through and picked some of the ones that I think we would like the most, either agree with, disagree with, whatever. And then, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to say it, where I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and we're all going to say agree or disagree, and then we're going to talk about it. So it should be pretty fun. But first, I want to start with some of your guys' hot takes. So, Connor, let's start with your hot take.
So I don't know if this is a hot take or me just being toxic.
It's okay.
I love seeing like a movie with a preposterously big budget bomb. Like,
wow.
like The Flash, that thing is like the biggest bomb in like Warner Brothers history, I think. It came out.
Yeah.
Love seeing it. I feel bad, but like Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny's not doing too hot at the box office. Thing's got like a $300 million budget. Maybe go cheaper.
Yeah.
Like
fair.
I do not feel bad about a movie with like the box office of a small nation's GDP bombing.
Oh my god. I don't even think we need to agree or disagree with that. I think we just need to let that one percolate.
Yeah, someone else can go.
That
on
one's
now.
simmer.
Yeah. I'll go next because I got one. Actually, I'm going to do the one that we were just talking about. So I honest to God think that the National Treasure series, is a better treasure hunting movie series than Indiana Jones.
What were they after in the second one?
In the second National Treasure,
Yeah.
so they were trying to clear Ben Gates's great grandfather, who was accused of being part of Lincoln's assassination.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they needed to get the book of secrets from the president,
Ah, yes.
the president's secret book, and all that kind of stuff. I believe that National Treasure does a better job of incorporating history and that whole treasure hunting aspect of it than Indiana Jones does. All right, I'll count it down. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Yeah, I disagree. Yeah.
Oh,
But I think it's just because
mean,
there's now 5 Indiana Jones movies.
mm-hmm.
I think just because they've had the ability to go on more hunts for more things.
Yeah. I mean, the Indiana Jones movies are great. I want to preface that. Like, I love the Indiana Jones movies, but to me, they focus more on the action than they do on the actual, like, trying to get the history and figuring out the clues and the puzzles and that kind of stuff. So, and that's where National Treasure excels, is like, the action's there in the National Treasure, but Nicolas Cage, Ben Gates he's an intelligent guy by nature, and he doesn't like shoot people and fight and stuff like that. He uses his brain to always be one step ahead of the equation and to figure out the puzzles and stuff like that. I love that. I'm not as like sold on the action.
That's fair.
So,
I mean, Indiana Jones
but both are great.
is like leans more into like sci-fi elements, like,
Yeah.
which I kind of like just because I think it's just kind of absurd. Like,
Mhm.
oh, they're looking for like an alien skull. Sure.
Yeah, it's like, okay, dude.
all right. If we're comparing Indiana Jones, let's not use the worst one out of the
Crystal
series.
Skull.
Well, no, but I'm saying, okay, well, like in this last one, it's literally a time travel
Yeah.
dial.
Or like Temple of Doom. Yeah, this guy just casually rips hearts out of people and they're still alive.
I mean, like the first one is like a box of ghosts that melt people's faces.
yeah, it's the whole thing. The most like normal one has been Last Crusade, where they find the Holy Grail.
Holy
and it's just,
Grail.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's only a cup that gives everlasting life. It's fine.
So I did write about this in the review, and I have been seeing some reviews on the latest one. So it was Archimedes' dial. So it doesn't necessarily like turn back time. It can detect a fissure in time where you can go back in times. It's more based off like mathematics and stuff like that. It's it is still a little far fetched, but it's
it's a little far fetched.
it could they do explain it in the movie and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
It is a little bit more focused on mathematics and stuff like
Mathematics.
that, rather than supernatural
just
stuff
fantastical. Yeah, fantastical magic.
Mhm.
Interesting. I can't wait to see that movie. Actually, I am excited to see that.
It's a solid send off, but obviously it's nothing like the original 3.
Yeah, that's tough to beat. All right, Sam, you have a hot take?
Yeah, I think this used to be a hot take, like a big one, but I think after the latest 3 movies came out, I think it's become more of a popular take. But the prequel trilogy for Star Wars is not as bad as people think it is.
Agree. Agree.
I
just hit the agree button over and over.
I love episode 1 and 2. I don't know about everybody else. Like they're like, yeah, obviously the dialogue and
they have their flaws.
They have their flaws, but they're still fun watches, and I go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it stands to prove that I have only ever seen The Rise of Skywalker one time, and it was in theaters, and I never watched it again. And I will go back and revisit the prequels numerous times throughout the year.
Yeah, and I think, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't even think I saw Rise of Skywalker all the way through.
Don't.
Yeah, I remember when I went, because I did a nice little binge of all the Star Wars movies. I guess not all of them, if I'm admitting that I didn't finish the last one, but I mean the prequels they're fine. But
Yeah.
what's the third one?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith was on at the gym the other day. At the final duel. I'd be lying if I said I did not stop what I was doing,
And be like,
turned on the John Williams score, Duel of the Fates,
yep,
and just watched that movie. Just like, can't hear it, but I just have the soundtrack in my ears.
yep.
yeah, it's great.
That
I love that.
one sequence alone makes it fine
Yep.
for me.
Yep. All right, now that we've wet the palate, I'm gonna start going into some hot takes from the community. And we're gonna start with this one, and we're starting off hot. So this is from user Don't Bruh Me Brah, which is an awesome name, and he says, "Superhero movies are the lowest form of cinema." All right, and I'm gonna count down from. We'll say agree or disagree. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Disagree.
I'm more neutral on it than I would have thought.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why I said neutral.
Because I don't.
Interesting.
I think the best superhero or like comic book superhero movies, I feel like do something besides just be like a hero.
That's
Like,
fair.
there's another element to it. Like it's a spy movie with Captain America. It's coming of age with Spider-Man. When it's just a straight up like, oh, this is like an action film with Shazam. Like, yeah, this is like bottom of the barrel for me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
See, I'm more in the position where it's like there are types of movies that I don't like more. And like those tend to be like your very generic rom-coms or comedies. I tend to not enjoy those. Like movies like The Outlaws that I just watched it's just
Like
not
Hallmark
good.
Hallmark Christmas movies.
Hallmark Christmas movies are lower than
Yeah,
superhero movies.
that's
for
it
sure.
right there. That's why I'm on the disagree side, because there is something even lower brow.
There
than
is
a
lower.
comic book movie.
However, I think, well, that's why I said neutral, is because there are a majority of superhero movies that have the same plot. It's like, oh, you just found out your powers. You have to work your way up. Oh, you fight the villain for the first time. You lose. You have to retrain. And then at the end, you fight him in the end and you win.
And,
a
like,
lot
the
of them,
villain
it's
is just like the evil version of you.
Yeah, or something like that. And it's just like this. A lot of them have it's just a same plot, but like a different, like obviously they do different things. So
Interesting. And I just want to point out, so someone in replied to that comment and called him out on it, and he doubled down, this guy who posted this take, and said, "I'd watch 50 First Dates before The Dark Knight."
jeez.
Each their
Yeesh. All right, and so in the same vein of the realm of superhero, this is from user Pantry Boy, which is another great name. It says Batman and Robin is a terrific movie. 3, 2, 1. Disagree. I will say it's not as bad purely for the camp, but it's pretty rough.
It's pretty bad. I was actually gonna, before we go and see The Flash, I was gonna watch all the original Batmans, but I only got to Batman 1989 and Batman Returns. I was gonna watch all of them, but I think I'm gonna. They're not. I don't. From what I remember, I don't think it's as bad as people say. It's like, oh, it's like
One of the worst.
One of the worst. Like, but
It's not great.
having Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
And having him only say one-liners through the whole movie.
I mean, I'll give it this. Those movies, for whatever reason, were more memorable than like when Val Kilmer was Batman.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember a single thing about any of
I forgot he was Batman.
I just remember the clip of him being like in a theater and he's like, "Oh, I'm Batman," while everyone's screaming. Like I don't remember who he was like going up against or even when that movie came out. Did he even
Yeah, I
get
mean,
more than one?
I just remember now. Jim Carrey was a villain in a Batman. He was the Riddler in a
Oh.
Batman movie.
That's the one. It was him, Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah,
and
his
Jim. That was
Two-Face.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
like
come on.
it's kind of wild. But and Nicole Kidman was in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, Drew
mean,
Barrymore now.
Look, Batman and Robin, I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with it. One-liners included. Although I will say, now that I'm talking about it, I'm kind of coming back around on the whole, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger only speaks in one-liners because it's very camp.
I am
It's
so
very
dumb.
much like...
I know. I literally thought Batman and Robin was under. Wait,
Oh, God.
hold on.
Are you thinking about the right movie now?
No, I'm not. Who?
Batman and Robin is George Clooney. And,
Yeah.
Who
was
oh,
his
God.
Robin?
It's D'Artagnan in Three Musketeers.
Batman and Robin. It's Chris O'Donnell.
Yes! Oh my God!
Yeah,
I
but
knew it was
Chris
something.
O'Donnell is the same Robin from Val Kilmer's movie. That's why I'm getting like messed up in my head.
What? Wait, he is?
Yeah.
Huh?
Batman Forever. I'm
Yeah, there he
looking.
is.
Yep. There he is in the cast. Maybe it's another situation where it's like who was it that
The
was just,
multiverse.
don't get me fucking started on that shit. I hate it.
I got something in here for you, Connor. Don't worry.
Good. But yeah, this is why it's like I'm like lost in this genre,
Lost in
this
the
era
in the
of
sauce
Batman.
of the lost in the Batman sauce.
Yeah, because did he just get replaced then, Val Kilmer?
I
But everything else was kept
wait.
the
So
same.
who was first? Was it George Clooney or Val Kilmer was first?
Batman Forever was Kilmer in '95. Batman and
Robin had to be earlier than that, early '90s. I thought
was '97.
Oh wow.
So I guess
Okay.
he did get replaced. Was it-
Interesting.
I wonder if it was medical because I don't remember when he got his
Yeah, I don't know.
illness.
don't know.
I forgot the hot take.
Batman and Robin is a terrific movie.
Oh, still no, but
Yeah. All right. Moving on. So this one's from user unread comment 09. It says Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise should have died. 3, 2, 1. Agree. Yeah, that's a good one.
it's like they set it up too.
Mhm.
Like I could have seen. I think him saving Miles Teller, and then Miles Teller saving him. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I think if they had gone like an alternate route with like the last chase, where like instead of Glenn Powell being able to save them,
It's Tom Cruise sacrificing himself. or
yeah,
something.
like
Yeah.
what his eject seat works, and Tom Cruise just like blows up.
Mhm.
Fine with that. I think that would have been a bit more impactful.
Yeah, well, it would have set up Rooster's story for sure for another movie.
Yeah. Make no mistake about it. Like I still got goosebumps like watching it, even though.
Oh
like,
yeah.
First time I saw it, like I almost cried. And I'll be honest, I don't remember much of Top Gun, the original, besides just sweaty dudes.
Well, yeah, that was pretty much the basis for the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. That's a good one. That's a good one that we all agree on. All right, so I got the next three are from the same person. This is user Millard Kilmore, and his first one goes: West Side Story is a top 3 Spielberg movie. 3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Neutral.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
I do
I
like
mean,
musicals though. That's
Purely by the fact that you're trying to beat out movies like Jaws, E.T., any of the Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There's no chance it's top 3.
Didn't he do Schindler's List?
Schindler's List, yep. You've got what else do you
He's
have?
got
Oh,
a huge
Fableman's.
cast.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I mean,
Goonies. Yeah, there's so many.
there's no way that West Side. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
It could definitely be
it's-
on like his I was gonna say his top 10, but it's like Back to the Future.
Well, he
Oh.
didn't direct Back to the
Oh,
Future.
well, he's credited on it. So
He produced it, or I think he was
Ah.
like supposed to be the original director, and then it went to Zemeckis or something like that.
I gotta go to.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
I think just by virtue of him having 60 directing credits, it's hard to beat.
It's hard to put that in top 3.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That is pretty hot, though.
It is spicy.
And then, so on the flip side of that, or not on the flip side, but like for the next one, this guy said, there's only one great Star Wars film, and it's The Last Jedi. 3, 2, 1. Hard
Agree.
disagree. Hard disagree.
I feel like sometimes people just say this stuff just
Say
to,
shit.
just to piss people off.
Oh, I mean, look, The Last Jedi, and we've talked. Sam and I have talked about this,
Yeah.
and this is kind of why I put it in
I've
here.
talked about it too.
And yeah, so Last Jedi is a good movie. It's actually quite a good movie.
It's not.
It's
yeah.
a bad Star Wars movie.
Yes. We've talked about this. It's just the premise, the plot actually isn't terrible, but again, what they did with the characters, the original
It
characters,
breaks up the continuity of the trilogy.
Yeah.
I think my thing with that is if Rise of Skywalker was able to build off of it, I think it would be viewed better. But because it had to course correct so hard, I think it takes down both the movies in terms of like what it is for Star Wars.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that.
I remember Ryan Johnson getting some
Heat.
shit for this.
Yeah.
When he's he's a really good director.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you see that in Knives Out and Glass Onion. He's
Yeah.
a fantastic director, but it's just, you try to do too much with the thing about like making a Star Wars movie is you can't just go in and be like, all right, this is how we're doing it. It's completely new, completely original. Because you have 6 movies plus of build up into this story. And then also, if you're coming in the middle of a trilogy, you got to kind of work in the trilogy. You can't just kind of go in and streamline your own dealios.
So that's another point. It's like I wish for the trilogy they just had one director, one writer kind of thing. Because I wasn't sure if you guys read Colin Trevorrow's episode 9.
The original episode 9.
It actually sounded pretty damn good.
It sounded better than what we got, that's for sure. All right, moving on. This one's just for Connor. Unless Sam, you might have an opinion on this, but this one's just for Connor. The Exorcist 3 is better than the first Exorcist.
No. It's got maybe the best scare. That's the one where like the nurse is walking back and forth between like the corridors, and then it just cuts to like a guy wearing the a blanket and just chops her head off. Yeah, no. I mean, there's a reason. Like the first one is a classic.
Yeah.
And if you ask a lot of people, like they've never even thought that there was a sequel, let alone
Interesting.
multiple
2
sequels. There's
2.
more. And they have reboot coming.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Interesting.
It's better than the second one. I'll give it that. But yeah.
Interesting. All right. So this next one comes from Night Monkey 15. It says Rocky was slow and boring up until the 3rd act and is not worth a rewatch. 3, 2, 1. Neutral.
Neutral. Yeah.
I have not seen Rocky really. I'm not I haven't even been interested in watching. So I guess it might be true for me. Like I've never even been interested in watching a Rocky movie. So
I haven't seen them in a long time, so
Me too.
I was a kid. I was like more of a kid when I watched them.
interesting.
Yeah, because I watched all the Creeds,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna go back and watch the Rockies, and then I was like halfway through Rocky 1, and I was just kind of bored and.
Well,
Like,
there you go.
it's-
Still agree.
Yeah, I guess I do agree, but like that thing, I don't have the numbers up, but I think it was made for like next to nothing.
Yeah,
It was
probably.
what Stallone's first,
One of.
one of his first movies.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. then.
Interesting. All right. This next one is from lambcurry.org. These names are amazing. I love these Reddit names. And this says, Lady Bird isn't as good as people say it is. 3, 2, 1.
Hard
Disagree.
Oh.
Oh.
Sam.
Oh. Sam. You didn't like Lady Bird?
It wasn't anything special. It was a good movie. It's just that it wasn't anything.
Man.
It
That
just
hurts.
wasn't anything. Oh shit! Wow.
Wow. Interesting.
But it was
I,
it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
It was phenomenal.
It was a great movie.
It was one of the only
I guess
like
for us.
yeah for Connor and I mean it's one of the only ones. If I were to give it a rewatch, I'd probably give it 5-star. Honestly, I mean that is a movie that I watched and then immediately rewatched, and I never do that ever. So it was impressive. Interesting.
One of the movies that
Um,
I keep saying like movies don't make me cry, but then I say like, oh, but this movie made me cry.
yeah, right.
So maybe movies
There's
do
a lot
make
more
me cry.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe,
that's one of
maybe
them.
Maybe you're just a crier.
Yeah. Maybe Greta just knows me.
Yeah. I wanted to include that specifically, one, because I knew a couple of us were fans of Lady Bird, but also there was someone else in this thread that said sort of similar thing, but also included The Edge of 17 in there and said they're both bad, or they're both not as good as people say they are. And I was like, oh, man, they're two of my favorite coming of age movies. All right, this next one is a Red Scion thing, and it says, X was very underwhelming. 3, 2, 1, agree.
Neutral. I didn't see that.
Wait.
Yeah. Yep. I saw it once, didn't really care for it, and then we've talked about it, and I've been like saying, I gotta go back to it. And I've tried a couple times, and I'm just not there. Just not in it. Connor, I know this is. I wanted to put this on here too. There were multiple people that said this as well.
People just got bad taste, man. Listen, first off, I would say X really. I don't know how you can be underwhelmed by a movie that you have like no expectations going into. Like that movie was not like heralded like cats.
Cats.
That movie wasn't like this super hyped up like, oh, this is gonna like change horror.
Yeah.
And then if anything, it was like it's like a classic slasher that's aware of itself. Not like super aware, but it's like there's so many like just little hints at what's gonna happen to every single character. I'm not saying it's some profound film, but like
Yeah.
compared to like what I thought it was gonna be going into it, and then like how much I liked it, shit was good. Shit was great even.
Wow. I mean, I guess for me it was just like I wanted to like it more than I actually liked it.
What did
so-
I give it?
I know you gave it quite a high score.
I gave it a 4. You gave it a 2.
Yeah, I did. I've tried to watch it multiple times since then to like maybe I was wrong and I can't.
Man, themes of
It just doesn't
getting
happen.
older and not being able to do the things you want to do.
Well, this guy also had another take. This says, I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is mid at best.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, disagree. Disagree. Hard disagree.
headphones almost fell off.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I think Into the Spider-Verse is as perfect of not even just an animated movie, just like a movie as you can be.
Interesting.
Fuck that.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean it's really good. I literally on our way home, or was it on our way home? I think it was on our way home from Tennessee when Em and I were driving back. This was on TV in one of the hotel rooms, and I was just like scrolling the channels, and I put it on, and I was like, I'll just put it on and sit on my phone or whatever. It was late, we were tired. I ended up just watching the rest of the movie. I was like, wow, I'm in. And it was
So
like halfway through the movie. It wasn't even at the beginning. It was like halfway through the movie. Like, and I hadn't seen it in a while. And then it came on and I was like, oh man, this is good. And even Em a little bit was like starting to like be like, wait, what is this? Like, what is going on here?
I own this movie on YouTube. It's one of 3
Nice.
movies I own.
What else do you own on YouTube?
Perks of Being a Wallflower,
It's a great film.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh my God.
Listen, I wasn't going to go see it in theaters, and I was like, everyone's talking about it. It's so cool. Like, I'm just going to like pre-order it. Like, I'll definitely watch this again.
Haven't watched it.
If anything, I
Again.
saw it on Twitter. Like, someone just posted the full movie of it, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's
fuck,
right.
I got nothing better to do. I'll watch it.
Oh man. All right. Well, this guy had one more hot take that I wanted to read, and it says,
Dude, how deep can you drive the knife into my heart?
so this is Age of Ultron and Iron Man 3 are top 5 MCU movies.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Slight agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say slight agree.
Like,
I don't know if they're top 5.
I could pull up
think
the
Age
tier.
of Ultron might. Yeah. You
I-
could, and we did just kind of talk about this, which is why I wanted to include it. But they're all. I think I'd say top 10.
Yeah, I'd say
fair.
all Age of Ultron's underrated.
Very.
Not top
They're
5,
both
but
underrated.
underrated. I
Age
think
of
that-
Ultron is my favorite Avengers movie.
underrated, overhated.
Yeah, so I wanted to include that one as well. Kind of cleanse the palate a little bit from what else this guy said.
Put it out of bed.
All right, this is from user Old Understanding 325, and he says he or she. I don't know if it's he or she or they. It could be any one of them. I don't.
we
Gender.
don't know.
Yeah.
for sure.
Halloween Ends had a satisfying ending. 3, 2, 1.
Agree.
Disagree.
I agree.
And I will maintain that stance to the day I die.
It's satisfying in the sense that ever since I saw a slasher movie like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, I've always said, why don't they just kill him and chop him up into a bunch of pieces and then just like launch it into space?
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what they did.
They literally chopped him up into a bunch of little pieces and said, all right, he's not coming back.
For everything I hated about Halloween Ends, and not even hated, because I think it's one of the biggest examples of just wasted potential.
Oh, yeah.
The ending I was fine with. Laurie got to be the one to kill Michael, and now she can exist.
I guess that's a fair point. And I it's hard for me to not let the rest of the movie soil what should have been a much better ending, a much more satisfying ending.
Yeah, because I'm completely omitting that Corey was in the ending.
was the villain.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
like
no, it was but
I was
you
gonna make an article or a little post about how to fix that movie, and I just didn't want to commit to it.
yeah.
But like, they could have set it up like, yes, okay, if Corey was around in like the first movie and the second, then it would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of springing him in on like the last movie and then making him that important was so dumb.
Yeah. No, it was a bad choice.
I think this happens a lot with other movies. It's like you have such a good like franchise in, you know, the original Halloween is one of the best slasher movies out there, and then you just all of a sudden just this is what happens, and it like this. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it was we don't need to talk about that movie anymore. I was so disappointed.
Because you know what sucks too, now that I'm thinking about it? The reason that they included Corey is that if they were like, oh, well, Michael might be dead, but someone else could be like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt clear, like, okay, so they're just setting it up so, like, okay, maybe Michael Myers isn't around, but someone else could be doing
There's
stuff.
still someone. Yeah, no, it's Yep. All right. So, in the same vein of Halloween, I want to there's this next one that I have from Sid Splendini Waterman. I almost had a stroke trying to say that name. And Connor, I included this one specifically for you and from our Adam Sandler conversation. Hubie Halloween is better than every movie.
Ever?
Yep. It literally says Hubie Halloween with the greater than symbol every movie, period. 3, 2, 1. Disagree.
I agree.
Ty will agree.
Listen, I haven't seen every other movie, so how am I to compare?
Well, can you think of one movie that's better than Hubie Halloween?
No.
Okay. Well.
No.
Oh man. Yeah, I wanted to include that just because of what we talked about and how Ty used to watch it every day. I thought that was really funny. All right, next one. We've got 2 from Tribe House Defect. Sure. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. 3, 2, 1. Disagree. The best Spider-Man, I think, was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. No, I have that backwards. Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire was a better Peter Parker.
Correct. That's what
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Although Tom Holland is very good at like riding the line of both, being
Yeah.
a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man, but I don't think he was the best at either.
I think people don't give. I mean, I think the dialogue was pretty bad in like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but like, I still think Andrew Garfield was like a good Peter Parker. It was just like they picked a different side of him. Like Tobey Maguire's
Tobey Maguire.
his Peter Parker was like pathetic to a fault. Like he never got better in that regard. At least like Andrew, like yeah, he's getting bullied, but now he was a bit too cool. I'll give it that. Too suave.
Yeah, but I agree with that. Especially with that basketball scene with him and Flash. Like I don't think Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker would have done anything like that. So
Like, I don't know, because there's like, I guess the closest would be like the Flash Thompson fight scene in the first. When he like just one punches him like through the hallway, but yeah, I don't know why people didn't raise more suspicion when this guy just like dunked from like the 3-point line, or he caught a football from the stands and threw it back so hard it dented the goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
No one was like,
Wait a second.
"Excuse you."
Oh man. All right, next one from this guy. Same guy. This one I included for Sam specifically.
Oh gosh.
The Lord of the Rings trilogy is good, but nothing more. Boromir is the best character, and Frodo and Gollum are both annoying. 3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Half agree.
Half agree.
So I do agree that Frodo is kind of an annoying
He's
character.
a little annoying.
If it wasn't for Sam and everybody else in the Fellowship, he would have gotten far. Because how much, like, he didn't even do that much, like, fighting.
No, he didn't.
Gollum, I have to disagree
Frodo
with.
was kind of a bitch through the whole series.
Yeah. Frodo, Gollum, Andy Serkis should have won an Oscar for that. He was great in that. Boromir, he was a good character, but he needed to die, just to the way it was the Sean Bean, yeah. But it's the greatest trilogy of all time.
So I knew because I know you have like Lord of the Rings tattoos. So I was like, oh man, he's gonna be heated.
Sam's not tattooing mid on him.
No, he's not. Oh my god. All right, cool. I'm glad we got that out of the way. All right, here's one from Happiest Mango 24. And this says Toy Story 2 is better than Toy Story 3. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Agree. Hard agree.
Oh, you like the
Connor's deep
second
in
one?
thought here.
I haven't seen them recently enough to have an opinion on it.
Interesting.
I know Toy Story 2 is when like the guy is the collector kind of like takes them, and 3 is when they're at the daycare.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll agree because I think 3. Yeah, never mind. I'm just not gonna talk.
Well, Toy Story 3 is great. I love Toy Story 3. I think it's a great movie. Toy Story 2 is one of the best animated movies to ever be made. And it's by far the best in the series. The introduction of Jesse and Bullseye as new characters are great. Their backstories are great. The whole Roundup gang, having Prospector, the Stinky Pete, as the main villain. I mean, he's a phenomenal villain. And the story is great. And it took what was great about the original Toy Story and just added so much more to it. It was, I mean, one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. So it's hard to compete with that.
Sam, did you disagree?
Yeah, I like the third one the best out of all the 3.
All right.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's just
Yeah, I know.
it's just.
I'm not saying Toy Story 3 is bad. I think it's great.
I think the final
they coming
scene
out
with
with another
Andy and
sequel?
stuff was great.
Yeah, they are coming out with another sequel.
That's my gripe. They should have stopped.
Yeah, even after 4, at 4 was like, okay, guys, you could have stopped at 3.
Like 3 was such a good, like just emotional like stepping off point.
And it's just like, yeah, you don't really need it, guys.
It's phase 4 of the MCU. It's like, okay, like I just said goodbye to like the whole thing is like I'm saying goodbye to my childhood, and then it's immediate like, okay, well, come back.
Well, there's more.
There's more.
Wait, there's more. All right, and the last 2 I've got from the same user. This is from the Empire Elf. And he says, The Emperor's New Groove is one of the worst animated films ever made. I don't know if you've seen it, but I wanted to include this because this guy can suck my ass.
I was waiting for the countdown.
3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Oh my god,
The Emperor's New Groove is amazing.
so funny.
It holds up to this day.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever! That's such a good movie. I love the end, towards the end when they're like the trail on the maps and stuff like that, and they they fall off the cliff, and then Kronk and Cusco get to the lab, and they're like, and they're already there, and like, wait, how'd you beat us? And he just pulls out the eye, he's like, I don't know, by all means, we shouldn't have been here. Oh well. It's just like, it's amazing. It's just such a good fourth wall break.
You know what's funny? I think that because it had like its own little TV show too.
Mm-hmm. Kronk's New Groove.
Kronk's New Groove. That and like Back at the Barnyard.
Yep.
For whatever reason, those movies and TV shows crucial to my upbringing.
Yep. Ah, boy. Yeah, no, that's a great. Sam, have you seen Emperor's New Groove?
Not in a while.
It's worth a rewatch. I might actually go rewatch it again this weekend because I just want to see it. Yeah. All right, and the last one here, and I feel like I know how one of us is gonna vote here already.
Oh, jeez.
Back to the Future isn't that great, and people just look on it with rose-tinted glasses. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Disagree. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Second hot take: time travel movies suck.
I'm neutral. I was gonna say I'm neutral on that. I think it needs to be done well.
No, I am kidding. I think Back to the Future is pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
There's like, it's like you know that scene in SpongeBob when he's like, "Everyone, get the hell out of here! Like, go, get out!" And then he points to the clown. He's like, "Not you. You stay." That's how I feel about time travel movies. Except
Back to the Future.
Honestly, that's that. I have to agree with that take.
Interesting.
That's why I didn't like Endgame as much as other people did. You know.
Thank you. I was fine with it up until they're like, "Oh, it's a time heist."
Yeah.
Oh, but we can go right back to the moment that we took the stones and put them back, and nothing will change.
Yeah, that's a hot take. Endgame sucks.
Endgame
equals bad? Question mark.
And the whole like I don't know if you guys seen the CW Flash Arrow verse.
Even the Flash movie.
It's like even the Flash movie, like it's just seriously.
It's
like,
so complicated. No one knows what they're talking about, and they just make stuff up. But then it's like, oh, but there's 7 other like time travel movies that this is like directly comparable to, and nothing lines up. At least with like,
well, even in the end of that movie, like he's still not in his right universe because George Clooney shows up. And
exactly.
It's like, all right, well,
like,
it's not Ben Affleck, so
except that one thing.
Spoilers.
Oh, it's been out for a month. Relax.
I haven't seen it. I had no idea who was in it. Anyways, yeah, no, time travel movies are a bit rough for the most part. Although Back to the Future is really good.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
I'll include multiverse movies into that same regard. I think they're just, besides Everything Everywhere All at Once and Across the Spider-Verse, caca.
I think it's tough for me because like multiverse movies are hard because it takes, if you don't do it right, it takes the stakes out of it.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I had such an issue with Quantumania is like this at the end of the movie, like nothing changed. It's like sure they defeated this Kang, but there's 6 million other Kangs. They're just gonna funnel right in. It's like, all right, well, what was the point then?
And then
what was the point?
It's like in Multiverse of Madness. It's like, okay, well, every Doctor Strange is just Benedict Cumberbatch, but we can have like John Krasinski as Fantastic Four, or as that Mr.
Fantastic,
and then he's not going to get cast again, and
Patrick
we have all the
Stewart.
different Spider-Man,
eight different Lokis and multiple Yeah, it's like
you're picking and choosing. It feels very like fan servicey.
Yeah,
well, I know you brought this.
Doing it right.
Yeah, I know you brought this up before, Aaron. Too is like they should have just ended the MCU after Endgame because they defeat Thanos, the big bad. But wait, there's another
more big bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and all those sacrifices, like Black Widow and Iron Man, fuck them.
Yeah,
they didn't matter.
It doesn't matter because
there's more.
Yeah.
Captain America retired and gave up. Oh, well, he's a bitch because there's more bad, and he just decided I don't want to deal with it anymore.
He's selfish.
The guy who literally gave up his whole life to fight for his country, no matter what, and then defied that country because he was doing what he thought was good for the people.
And
Fuck it. He's just gonna go live his life, and the next big bad will come out and.
You know what he should have done? He should have just dropped. He just should have just brought Peggy back to the future.
And this is what I'm saying with time
That's
travel.
such a good idea.
Because he goes back to the past and stays in the past, but nothing changed.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was
right.
gonna say. Like,
That's fair. This is a real bit of an issue with time. Maybe Endgame does kind of suck.
This is what I'm saying. Like, they just make up what matters and what doesn't. It's like, oh yeah, no, we have to make sure that we do not disrupt the past when we're back. And then Cap's like, oh, fuck that. I'm gonna live my life.
But I'm staying.
Because that now
All those times when you needed Captain America, it's now doesn't exist.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's just like, everything should have changed, because if there's no Captain America,
it's all, yeah.
like, what did anything matter? Like, because that Thanos fight should have been different. All the Avengers should have been different.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't even think about that until now.
Wow.
yeah,
Man.
maybe Endgame does suck. Pee pee poo poo tier.
Pee pee poo poo tier.
Pee pee poo poo time travel tier.
No, it was just, that's funny.
Time travel breaks movies, I think is what we're getting at.
Yeah, it's a dumb concept that just leave it alone.
Except for Back to the Future.
Except for Back
in
to the
which
Future.
it works because it's confusing.
Yes.
And you could try to bang your own mom. It's fine.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it. Oh my god. Well, if you like this episode, you can subscribe, share it. I don't know why you would after that last one, but share it, like it, do all those kind of things. I want to thank Josh Woodward for our awesome theme music, and I want you to follow our socials. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we now have an account on Threads, the Twitter alternative from Meta. So if you're on Threads, give us a follow. The filmboxproductions.threads.com or whatever it is. Also follow our Letterboxds. All of them. We post we post about all the movies that we see that we don't review, or that we don't often, in between our pods that we see. And all that kind of stuff. But thank you so much for listening. This has been another great episode of the Filmbox Podcast, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Don't bother to Facebook message or call me, 'cause I'm living life in airplane mode and everything is okay. I just want to play